Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Weighing In Podcast, and I am joined tonight by my man, Keto George. He's holding down the fort for me because I did 3 hours and 15 minutes of covering the main card on a live show. If you guys haven't seen that show, check it out. Covered the whole main card of the UFC. Last pay-per-view. I don't want to say ever because you just know the UFC going to throw a pay-per-view out there one time, at least once or twice a year. Not this year, maybe coming up in 2026, but probably in 2027. They're going to say, hey, we're going to charge you guys $100 pay-per-view, but it'll be the best card and the biggest card ever and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. I could see them doing that. I can see them doing it. Like, look, Paramount's going to offer pay-per-view. Now we're going to have to pay for a $100 pay-per-view because it's the best and the biggest card ever. But I'm not buying it, guys. George, you buying it? You buying it? Do you think they'll ever bring a pay-per-view back?
I mean, yeah, I can see it happening. It just depends. I know ESPN has WWE's rights right now, and apparently they're not too happy with the income that it's bringing in and the new eyeballs and new streamers. Because ESPN, they did ESPN Unlimited and raised the price of that to $30 a month, I think. But you're also going for WWE fans who before that were paying much less they're paying just for Peacock. Mm-hmm. And that's all you had to do to have 100% of everything they did. So they are going up in price. Paramount Plus is technically, even if they raise their prices, is still going down in pay-per-view cost. But for the comment of buying the pay-per-view, no comment. No comment.
No.
I think the fifth on that one.
Oh, yeah. You slick. Sly little Willie, you buddy. It's too late now. It's too late now. Oh, man. Look, we had a great card tonight. You were with me all night on the chat, kind of stirring up the business there and letting me know what was going on and some of the stuff they were announcing because I couldn't really hear it. But, man, what a card. From beginning to end, it was a great card. Couple fights in there. The reason why they didn't seem like they were good fights is because they weren't as good as some of the other ones that were action-packed, that were slobber knockers back and forth in the beginning of the night. So the prelims lived up to it. I got to be honest. My take on this was the prelims will be good. The main card will be, it'll be okay. The whole card was good. I got to be honest. If I'm giving this, I'm giving this card. What did you rate this card out of 10? 10 being the best.
I mean, for upset value, I think I would give it a 9. I think I'd give it a 9.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Up in the 9.4, 9.6, somewhere in there. I mean, the
owner,
Marab upset and also the Pantoja. I know it's not the way that we want it to go, but the Pantoja upset was huge also.
I mean, there were huge names on the night. I mean, every fight had a former or current world champion on the main card, but they weren't like the biggest names in the sport. So I think, I don't know, maybe it's the lighter weight class, maybe it's that bias, but I don't know. That's why I gave it a 9 and not a 9.5.
You know what? You pointed something out I didn't even think of. There was a former champion or a current champion in every single one of the main card fights. I didn't even think about that.
They were either defending their title or being served up to the slaughter. That's what it seemed like tonight.
That's fucked up. Why would you do that to them? Why would you do it? Let's go ahead and jump right into this, man. I'm going to give you a recap on the card tonight. And if you guys haven't seen the live show that we did last night, tune in. 3 hours and 15 minutes. We had a great time. And hit that like and subscribe button, man. Thank you, guys. I have talked about being positive on this platform now. Want to make sure that we keep it positive. I'm pushing towards more of a positive type show. Not pointing out the negative, but speaking more on the positive things in this sport. There was kind of a little bit of awakening for me. Like, I had a couple people reach out to me on X going like, man, I'm tired of the media being negative. I'm tired of all the, even the podcast people are being negative. Like, the sport's getting like a negative. It sucks. It's not as good as it used to be. And then, now everyone is, talking about gambling and it's corrupt. All the fights are fixed. And I'm like, bro, we're living in the golden era. I mean, the best era for MMA to me was that 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, somewhere in there.
Oh yeah.
During the Strike Force / UFC, everyone was making a run. We were on CBS, we were on Showtime, they were on Spike TV. It was like, and they were on Fox, and they were on Fox. It was like, holy shit, this is awesome. We just got spoiled. And I want everyone to know, like, we have been spoiled for the last, 15 years, that we were lucky to get 5 to 8 shows in the early 2000s. Guys, ride this wave, man. We're having fun. This shit is awesome. And CBS and Paramount is going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely enormous for this sport. And these guys are going to get so fucking filthy rich. And I can't wait to see that. I'm a little jealous. I got to admit, I'm fucking jealous. But I'm happy for them. I'm so happy for them. They'll be able to make money outside with sponsors, and they'll be able to make money inside that cage. I'm so happy for them all. Like I said, jealous but happy. Jealous but happy. But look, let's jump right into it, man. Petr Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili. I don't know how you want to say it. It's actually really, when the SHVILI is, it's supposed to be like a wheelie, like wheelie. So it's Dvalishvili. But Merab and Petr Yan, great fight. I had Angelo on last week on like Monday or whatever, Monday. We did a talk about this fight, and we talked about how he was very adamant about how, like, Merab was just going to do what he did in the first time. It's going to be the same thing. Merab just looked so great. Merab did this. I was like, look, I still think Merab's going to win. I'm not going to change my pick now after I just went through all this. I'm not going to change my pick now. But simply put, I said, Petr Yan's going to make this a lot more of a difficult fight in this fight. In no way did I think that he was going to make it this difficult. I thought he would win the rounds 1, maybe 2. And then I thought Merab would do what Merab does. Merab would just step in, take over, cardio, thrust, like heavy hips, constant takedowns. Petr Yan had the answer for every single takedown that Merab was throwing at him. He got lifted and scooped one time, taken down, scrambled his way to the top position. Beautifully done. I thought this fight, I didn't think this fight could be this exciting. I thought, they're going to have some moments. From the beginning of this fight to the end of this fight, this thing was awesome. Absolutely fantastic. I thought this fight it has very much fight of the year candidate. The only thing that didn't make it fight of the year candidate was more one-sided. I thought the fight was 4-1, rounds 4-1. I thought Yan won 4 rounds. I thought Merab won 1. I don't know. One judge had it like 47-46, something like that. I didn't have it that close. I gave it 4 rounds to 1 for Merab. I mean, not Merab, but Yan. Absolutely. I can't say anything about it. The body kicks were key. The body shots were key. Everything, the knees to the body. When you have not history, but when you have a guy that has very good cardio, get started on the body shots early. Because if you could just land one, it starts to take their cardio away. Starts to make them work a little bit harder. Starts to make them think, okay, look, I can't throw the right hand because I'm going to get kicked to the liver. Okay, I got to keep my elbows tight, so then my takedowns are not as strong because I can't reach out. Like, there's all these little things. And Yan just got busy to the body pretty early. Second, third round, he started kicking to the body, started knee into the body, started putting some work there. And it seemed like every time that Yan threw a body shot or a body kick or a knee, it was landing to the point that Merab just slowed down. The output was still there, but what happens is after you land a hard, clean shot to the liver or to the body, your body doesn't forget about it. It isn't just like, oh, okay, I'm good after I get my breath back. No. Every time you touch it, it's almost like a bruise there that every time you touch it, it hurts worse the second time. And I almost believe that's probably what it is that every time if you kick me to the body and all of a sudden it knocks the wind out of me, now my liver's a little bruised. And now just imagine like a little kid just touching the bruise every time you walk by. You're like, you little shit. Like, you little shit. Like, that's exactly what Petr Yan did tonight. Every time Yan went to open up, boom. Oh, you son of a gun. Circled, get away. But he every time had to drop his elbow. That lets the judges know that damage was done. And every time he showed damage was done, that kind of won him the round because the rounds were close. the rounds were close, and all it took was for one good damaging shot. And it was Petr Yan that was landing the body shots, and Merab showing the body shots were having an effect. That is the damage that you needed. Plus the blood on Merab's face, the nose, that skews the refs or the judges a little bit as well. Big John McCarthy would say, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Stubborn old man. Like it does. It does affect him. It absolutely does. No, it shouldn't. No, it does. It does not. It doesn't do it.
Damage is definitely, isn't that like one of the biggest qualifiers in what the judges look at?
The number one qualifier. Number one.
And what shows from at least a distance through a cage in the fog of war, what shows damage more than the Crimson Mask? Come on.
That's true. The Crimson Mask. I like that. I got to use that next time. I love it. The Crimson Mask. Yeah, it's true though. It's absolutely true. The color, the blood. Look, the blood won't always win you fights. I mean, take a look at Michael Bisping and Anderson Silva. Take a look at Dan Henderson, Bisping. Like Bisping's notorious for winning fights that people are like, oh, he's all beat up. Yeah, but he still won the fight. You got all these bloods. Some guys like Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, they cut very easily, but they still win fights. So, Petr Yan looked fantastic. Now, I guess there's some questions to be answered. Does the UFC say, hey, Merab, you did 4 fights in a year. We appreciate you. We give you the automatic rematch. Or do they say, hey, you did 4 fights in a year. Why don't we have you take a little bit of a break? Let's see who wins the whole, Umar Nurmagomedov fight. And if Umar does win, we'll have Umar fight Petr, and then we'll have you fight the winner. Give you some time. Maybe we'll give you somebody, down the rankings a little bit. Somebody that we obviously we feel very confident. Maybe you fight Mario Batista. Something along those lines. Guy that can wrestle, guy that's got good boxing, but that's a good fight for back and forth. Yeah. Umar just beat him.
Or maybe a Merab Albazi. Is that his name? The one that looks like Chico
Amir Albazi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would go with I agree with you. It would be an interesting matchup, but I would probably go more with the Batista fight. Mm-hmm. The reason why I would go with Batista, the Batista's been looking good. Sure, he didn't get the win against Umar, but like that puts him in that position where like, hey, no one else in this range is going to be able to beat me, and no one can. I don't think anyone. I mean, I've trained with Umar. I've seen him work. I've seen him lately working and stuff. But it's a tough fight. No matter who fights Merab, it's a tough fight.
Yeah,
doesn't matter who it is.
Do you?
Petr looked like a man on a mission tonight.
Do you think there's a world where if Sean O'Malley gets an impressive knockout or performance against Yadong, do you think there's a
you were brewing that up all night. You were like, let me just see
Sean posted on Instagram. He said I can't, he said I won't beat my dong, but I'll beat your dong. He said something to that extent.
Sean's got the slang, man. He's got it.
With the slang, he also has a victory over Petr Yan. So is that enough?
Very controversial one. But
is that enough to push him up against or above Umar?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Look, Umar's got Figgy in front of him. Yeah, he's fast. He's explosive. He can wrestle a little bit. Not at Umar's level, but he's got fast. He's got some power in his hands too. He is a smaller 35 pounder, but he was a huge 25 pounder. So he's in that middle mix kind of thing. And I don't know, man. I really couldn't tell you. I think a lot of it has to do with how does it all play out with Umar and Figgy, and how soon does Merab want to come back, and how soon will he be ready to come back? Also, too, let's not forget, you need the champion. How soon does the champion want to fight again? Does he want to fight January, February? Does he want to fight January, February? Or does he want to fight, at the end of March, April? Or does he want to fight on the White House card? What does he want to do? And do they give Merab the automatic rematch? If Umar's not ready, if Umar wins and he's not ready to fight until May or, March, April, May, somewhere around there, they may just say Merab will probably be ready to fight next week. He's like, yo, give me on the first, but Jan won't be ready to fight. So he's kind of at the mercy of what Petr Yan wants to do. But I thought, to me, look, let's wrap this up on the main event. I thought this fight was going to be, it was going to be a little bit more of the same, but I thought Petr Yan would do a good job of carrying the fight rounds 1 and 2. I thought he'd win rounds 1 and 2, and I thought Merab would take over rounds 3, 4, and 5 like he does. His cardio, his pressure, all those things would be a problem. And it was actually quite the opposite. The body kicks and the body shots had an effect on Merab, and those big shots that were visible showed the judges that won Petr Yan those rounds. And it was a great fight. I know, never did I sit back and go, man, this is going to be one of those fights that I talk about, into next year. No, it is. It's 100% one of those fights. I'm going to go back, to California and visit family and be like, yo, did you guys see the last pay-per-view? Did you guys see that main event? That shit was fucking fire. Absolutely fire. So great performance by both guys. Unfortunately, there's normally just a winner and a loser. And tonight, Merab couldn't get it done. But 4 times in a year, we were privy to watching him fight. And I got to say thank you to Merab, because I didn't start off the year a Merab fan. I finished the year a Merab fan. I finished the year going like, dude, when are you going to fight next? Wanting to know when you're going to fight next. I'm a Merab fan. Petr Yan, great job, great return. Great. Congratulations to you on winning your title back. And let's talk Joshua Van, the new flyweight champion, beating Pantoja in a very weird injury type thing. But it's funny because I had people in the chat going, hey, like, isn't it weird that he celebrated that he won, that Joshua Van celebrated so much and how he won? Why? Why is it weird? The injury was caused by what he did. I think it was by what Pantoja did by planting his arm, but it was because Joshua Van caught the kick, lifted, elevated, and went to throw him down. And is it very unfortunate? Absolutely it is. But like I was trying to tell people in the comment section or in the on the chat from the live show, this guy has worked really hard. He went from being number 12 or number 11 to beating Roy Vall, and all of a sudden now the number 1 contender, then coming in and beating Pantoja to become the flyweight champion. Don't rain on this dude's parade. Don't take it away from him. It wasn't like he did something illegal and beat him that way and then won. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to rain on this guy. This is a young kid, great fighter, happy to be there, has put on some great performances for us fans. Let's not rain on his parade. Let's not shit on him on his opportunity to win the title and then he capitalized on it. Don't shit on him. Don't take it from him. It was a very unfortunate incident. Okay, but I want to be honest. Pantoja, we don't know how long he's going to be out. A dislocation and a tear in the elbow or in the shoulder and stuff sometimes takes longer than just a broken bone. A broken bone can be 6 to 8 weeks. So if the ligament pulled and it broke the bone, he could be back within like 10 weeks or back training anyways, within like a 10-week period. We could see him back probably by the end of February. If it's an actual torn ligament or dislocation and stretch and tears of the ligament and strain of those ligaments, he could be out for 6 months. So we don't know how long he's going to be out, but I would say if there was an automatic reason to give a rematch, Merab and Pantoja both have those. Both. And I'm not going to knock either one. It's unfortunate what happened to Pantoja, but if he's able to come back within like a 6 to 8 week period and Joshua Van's ready to defend his title, I will take that fight because I want to see how that fight would have really went down. But I am not going to sit here and shit on Joshua Van's parade. Absolutely not. Congratulations, young man. You are now the flyweight UFC champion. That's fucking huge. Huge. Your next paycheck will change your life. Because, I mean, I don't know what pay-per-view numbers are because there won't be any more of those. But you'll probably be on one of a bigger card because the way this happened, but whatever it is, you've had exciting fights. You have a fan base that is following you now. And you're just going to explode when you hit the CBS market. So good on him. Another one that I thought, man, Brandon Moreno was an underdog going in this fight. I didn't know what they were looking at. Shit, I don't know shit. I didn't know what the betting sites were talking about. Like, what do you mean? It wasn't much. It had Brandon Moreno as like a plus 120 and it had Taira Taira like a plus 110. So it wasn't much. But Brandon Moreno was the underdog. And I was like, wait, this guy's a multiple time, world champion defending, he's defending this title. Like, what are you talking about? And Taira, he looked great. Absolutely looked great. Spent his whole first round in the triangle trying to get out of that. Didn't get out of it. Really just kind of hung out in that first round. And then second round came out, landed some good shots. But then Mark Smith, it just had a really, really awkward night tonight. I don't want to shit on him. Mark Smith takes a he takes a beating sometimes. He brings it upon himself. But this was, to me, a bad stoppage. And I'm not saying that it couldn't have been stopped, sure. But what you do is, as a referee, and I've had this conversation, and if you guys have watched this show for a long period of time, Big John McCarthy has been my co-host for the last 7 years. And he will probably tell you it was an early stoppage. And the reason why it was an early stoppage, it wasn't because he wasn't able to defend himself, not because, he only took 1 or 2 shots, because you're weighing who the fighter is. Brandon Moreno has been in trouble before. Brandon Moreno is a former world champion. Brandon Moreno has fought the best guys in the division for the last 5 years. He has been in this position a couple times. He has also got out of these positions and had success. You have to, the refs have to take into consideration who they are reffing and what they've seen them go through and what they've been able to work through. Not to mention, he is at the top. He's the cream of the crop in this division. He will work out of almost anything. Not saying that he was gonna. I'm just simply saying you have to give him the opportunity to do it. He has proven himself inside that cage multiple times, year after year. You have to give him the chance. And like I was talking about with Van, and the same thing with Pantoja's fight, I'm not going to shit on Taira Taira. He did a great job. It's not his fault. It's not his responsibility to regulate what the ref does. He won the fight. He won it fair and square, had great position, heavy hips, broke him down, flattened him out, landed hard shots. Great job by Taira Taira. I didn't realize how much he looks like an anime.
Don't say creature again.
I did. I almost said creature again. And what is it? It's an anime
character.
Character. There you go. An anime character. I've never watched anime ever. And
you haven't watched one episode of Dragon Ball Z in your...
No, I've never watched one episode of Dragon Ball Z. I was in college when Dragon Ball Z was... I wasn't watching cartoons. I was chasing women. Like, I don't know what you were doing in college. I was chasing women, not watching anime.
Joke's on you. I didn't go to college.
Joke's on you. Taira Taira, man, physically looks the part. He looks the part. He's, he looked fast tonight. He looked strong. I mean, he looked good. He looked good. I would love to see what they're going to do with him next. Do they put him ahead to fight Joshua Van now? And do they have Horiguchi fight, Pantoja when he returns? Or do they have him fight maybe a Brandon Royval? Because Royval is not going to drop out of the top 2 or 3. He'll stay where he's at. And Brandon Moreno will probably drop out of that, not top 2 or 3. He'll probably drop to 3 or 4, somewhere in that mix. But
Taira has a loss over Royval, or under him, I guess. He does have a loss against him. But no, I could definitely see a rematch against Royval. I mean, they're both coming off of a big, one's coming off of a big loss, one's coming off of a big win. But I don't know. I like Horiguchi versus Van for the title while Pantoja heals, and then Pantoja can come back and either get his redemption or fight his teammate. There's a good storyline either way there. We can work it out in the press, No,
I think what they're going to try to do, though, just between me and you and everyone else listening to this show, just us, just between us, is they're going to try to get Joshua Van versus Taira Taira. They're on the same card. I think he was going to fight the winner. Taira Taira was going to fight the winner regardless. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to put, if Taira wins the fight against Joshua Van, they will jump Horiguchi up to fight Japanese versus Japanese, probably in Japan, to headline a card. look, they know that they're lacking in the Japanese market right now. They know that they need to head over there and bring the talent. I think this is the perfect opportunity. They know that Horiguchi is a big draw. They know that Taira Taira is a big draw, and they know that's a fight that they can definitely sell. They know they can headline that in Japan. It'll do big numbers, huge numbers. So I think that if they can get there, both of the thing is, it all sounds good in theory. It all sounds good as a promoter and a matchmaker. Like, yeah, let's make that. It's going to happen. And we're going to, and then and then like a Pantoja thing happens tonight. You're like, well, shit, that sucks. What are we going to do? Damn it. Oh, shucks. But that, and then I think they'll have, probably Horiguchi fight like Royval. I don't know if they'll have him fight Brandon Moreno. I think they'll probably have him fight Royval somewhere in there. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. They're going to have him fight somebody there at the top. We'll see. But I think they got to get him in that top 5 conversation. And the guys that are there, let me look it up real quick. The guys that are there right now is Amir Albazi, which I can see him fighting Amir Albazi because Horiguchi's got great takedown defense. And he is the better striker, hands down. And he's got power. He's also the faster fighter. So, yeah, I see that. I could see that fight possibly happening to get him in that top 4. You can fight Brandon Royval or Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno is going to drop probably to number 4 or number, somewhere in that mix, number 4 or number 5. So I think Amir Kopp is also fighting. I can't remember who he's fighting. He's got a fight line.
Isn't he fighting Royval next weekend? I think.
I think he is. I think you are correct. So that'll definitely put a wrench in thing when Royval and Kopp fight, like on where that ends up, and then who Horiguchi probably fights next. And then I think Taira Taira is going to fight Joshua Van. And Pantoja is going to get healthy, and we're going to see that. We're going to see what happens and how long it takes him to come back. So overall, though, that fight, I don't want to say disappointing, but upsetting because we didn't get to see what really would have happened. But overall, I think this shakes up that division a little bit. We're going to see some good fights coming up. You got Peyton Talbott against Henry Cejudo. I cannot say enough about Henry Cejudo. People will knock on him. Oh, he's cringe. People will knock on him like, oh, he's just the way he sells himself. Oh, he was dumb for taking the 3 years off. Look, your career doesn't always go the way you want it to go. Sometimes you can be your own worst enemy. Sometimes you just have a plan in your mind in an image on how you want it to go, and it doesn't go that way. But ultimately, let's not forget what this guy has done in the sport. He's a 2-division champion, and he defended both titles. Give this man his due. And I'm sorry, I'm going to wrap this up on this with him. He fought this fight with the idea of, I'm going to give the fans the best fight I possibly can. And he did that. How many times have we seen retirement fights where guys come out and they play it safe? They don't want to get knocked out. They don't want to chase they don't want to do that's what happens when they announce their fights. They announce their retirement fight. They're like, yeah, it's my last one. That's normally what happens. Normally. You go back and watch his fight with Marlon Moraes. He lost, I think, rounds 1 and 2. Round 3, finally is like, you know what? I'm not winning it this way. Let me just bite down on my mouthpiece and win it this way. And he did. Becomes a bantamweight champion in the vacant title because of the TJ Dillashaw and the doping, and then they vacated the title, all that. He wins that vacant title. Then he beats Dominic Cruz, who I have as my bantamweight GOAT. And I actually now, after tonight, I still have Dominic as my bantamweight GOAT. And that's no knock on Marab. I just feel like fighting 4 times in a year would have been fantastic. I would have put him above Dom had he done that. But I also put Dom there because Dom went away for 3 years with injuries and came back and won his title again. Usually the sport passes you up after 3 years. Usually. Not in Dom's case. So I got to tip my hat to Dom and be like, hey, man, you're still there. You're still the bantamweight GOAT for me right now. If Rob comes back and wins his title back and then dominates again for a couple more fights, I might have him past Dom. But we'll see what happens in that situation. Peyton Talbott fought a great fight. Didn't look gassed, he had a great takedown, inside trip, had a couple takedowns, to be honest. Stuffed some takedowns as well. He just fought a good fight. Henry Cejudo, though, bit down on his mouthpiece and brought the action, did everything he could to win the fight. I'm going to just tip my hat to him, give him love, tell him like, hey, man, You did everything. You're Olympic gold medalist, 2 division champion, defended both titles. You have very cringe interviews, but who cares? You put on a damn show tonight. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything you've done for this sport. Thank you. I can't say it any better than that. Peyton Talbott, I'm looking forward to a long career. You had a great performance tonight. I can't wait. Unfortunately, your performance tonight is probably going to get overlooked because Henry Cejudo is retiring. But you still had a great performance. You were long with the punches, big power, rocked Henry, sat him down, like everything. You fought a great fight. Good job. Tip my hat. Looking forward to seeing you in your career. I can't even, let me see, where are we at right now? You're in the bantamweights. Let's pick out some guys. You're going to be up there now. He's going to be ranked where's he at? Dun, dun, dun. He's going to be ranked number 10, number 11, number 10, somewhere in that mix. Him versus a Rob Font, to me, would be a great fight. Both have power, both box, both are mainly boxers. You know, Peyton Talbot showed tonight he can wrestle, inside trip, then another takedown. I mean, he got a couple takedowns on Olympic gold medalist, who is obviously a little bit older in age, but still, let's see what he can do with Rob Font. That's a good matchup. Or give him Chito Vera. Give him Chito. Let's see how that goes. That's a great fight. I'll take that fight.
I liked the Chito fight when I was thinking about it in the immediate aftermath. But I'm surprised that Chito isn't even ranked right now. I was just looking at the rankings.
Oh,
and I was like,
no, he is. No, Chito's there. Marlon Vera, number 8.
Oh,
you got to know his real name. Yeah, you got to know his real name.
I've met Chito multiple times in person too. Yeah, blanking out like this.
No, I actually sometimes have to catch myself and go like, "What's his real name?" I just know it's Vera. I just look up Vera. I don't like what's his first name because all I call him is Chito.
The first time I met Chito, he was walking into Thick Boy Studio, and I just saw him from across the parking lot. And I was like, "I love you, Chito," and he looked at me and he goes, "I love you too."
I love you too. Oh man, he's a good dude, man. Super fun to be around. Great performance by Peyton. I want to wish nothing but the best for Henry Cejudo in your next chapter. Enjoy being a father, man. It's a blessing. You'll look back and be like, man, why didn't I leave fighting sooner and spend more time with the kids? Because it's fun. So fun. So it's funny. We're talking about kids, and I was up at 4:52 this morning making some healthy breakfast for my son. So we had to leave to a lacrosse tournament. And man, it was fun. It's great. And then I got to get up again tomorrow morning. Here it is, 2 a.m. We're filming this so we can drop this for you guys first thing. And by the time you guys watch this show, I will already be at the lacrosse tournament. We'll probably almost be done with it because we'll be there. First game is at 9 a.m., but it's an hour and a half away. So I got to drive an hour and a half. Got to be there 45 minutes to an hour beforehand so he can warm up. And then I go to do the game. He has 2 games tomorrow, possibly the finals if they can make it. So we have possibly 3 games. Yeah, it's a lot. But we had 3 games today. It's fun, man. Love it. I think Henry Cejudo is going to enjoy the amount of time he gets to spend with his kids. So good for him. I think, you see Dustin Parade enjoying, showing, hey, his baby got to watch first fights tonight, which was awesome.
I also think if he does get bored in retirement, I think he would be a good fit in the RAF. Have you seen some of the stuff they've been doing?
The RAF, yes.
Michael Chandler got a victory over there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that'd be great for him. And they pay pretty well, from what I understand. So good on him. They pay pretty well. Let's go ahead and talk Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov. Look, I thought it was the first round was like a filler round, like touch, like playing touch butt in the park. Okay, but round 2, Guskov drops Jan, dominates the top position. I gave the round a 10-8 round, and the judges gave the round a 10-8 round because then the third round, Jan, the 42-year-old, decides like, you know what, I still got some gas in the tank. I'm gonna go ahead and push this forward. And he pushed the 31-year-old around, 33-year-old around. I was like, what is going on? He came out composed, relaxed, pushed the pace, landed the harder, cleaner shots, dropped Guskov at the end of the third round, and ends up winning that round. I thought he dominated the round, but it wasn't a 10-8 round. So that means that the other judges gave Jan Blachowicz the first round. So Jan wins the first and the third, but Guskov wins the second, a 10-8 round, and that's why it was a draw. But when you watch that fight, round 1 was a snooze fest. Rounds 2 and 3, fantastic fight. Fantastic fight. Go back and watch rounds 2 and 3. Fun fight. Great performance. Now we get to the prelims. I'm gonna skip around a little bit, but there's plenty of fights to talk about. Let's just be honest. It's a great card. Manuel Torres and Grant Dawson, absolutely fantastic. Grant Dawson, just in the media this week, I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna wrestle, and guess what? Manuel Torres is like, I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna avoid the takedowns. I'm gonna let his hands fly. Not be afraid of the takedowns. Just gonna fight safe. Not in terms of like, oh, like don't come after you, not get you. No, I'm going to fight long, keep you at range, try and touch you. Beautifully done by him. Finishes him up with the TKO and the strikes. Grant Dawson, he'll be back. He's got a style that gives him longevity in the sport. But he can't afford to stand with guys like Manuel Torres longer than what he should have done, especially when your stand-up is not as good as Manuel Torres. Torres is a fantastic fighter, man. But Grant, little setback, he will be back. He will be back. Angelo, my boy, is going to have some words tomorrow on the live show. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night on the live show at 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern Time. My boy Angelo is going to be like, woohoo! He just cannot stand watching Grant Dawson. I like watching Grant Dawson because I'm a fan of wrestling. I'm a fan of the sport. Angelo is a casual, and he just wants what everybody else wants. He just wants blood. That's not my style. I want to see a fight. Anyways, Chris Duncan and Terrence McKinney. What else did we expect? We didn't think this fight was really going to get out of the first round, did we? Hell no. So if you were a betting person and you went to wewantpicks.com/offer, I can tell you right now, you would have seen that this fight, if you were going to place bet, wouldn't have went outside the second round. You could have laid down some money on it going first round or second round and came out on top. And the AI over at wewantpicks.com/offer, you know what it does? It's $10 a month. You can cancel anytime, and it gives you an AI and also other people that have used that platform, to help you pick your bets. It's not a betting platform. It's information that it gives you to help you place your bets. So check it out. Use the promo code and still it's wewantpicks.com/offer. It's $10 a month to cancel anytime, or you can do a year. I think it's a year for $99, or a lifetime membership is $300. You pay it once and you're good for the rest of your life. Perfect. If you're just into those little things where you want to place some bets, you can go in there, figure out through the AI, or you can figure out through all the information it gives you how many significant strikes that fighter normally lands, how many takedowns does that fighter normally get, how many do they normally go the distance, how many rounds have they fought, how much control time do they have. All that information is available for you to help you place your bets. There's also other people that are degenerate gamblers on there. They give you their bets for free, or not for free, for the $10 a month. You can see why they pick those bets to help you pick your bets. That's it. So I'm not here other than just to try to tell you at wewantpicks.com/offer with the promo code, and still you get your information there to help you with your bets. All right, look, Chris Duncan, Terrence McKinney. I didn't think that fight was going to go outside the first round. Sure enough, it did not. It barely got to the halfway of the first round. But overall, Chris Duncan took some huge shots. Terrence McKinney delivered those big shots, but he sometimes leaves himself out of position, leaves his head directly in line when he's trying to finish people. And Duncan was able to weather the storm and come back and land some big shots of his own. Then as he dropped Terrence McKinney, he went right for the submission. You see this, and we talk about this all the time. Fighters that don't want to tap, they give themselves a position to potentially get submitted. Terrence McKinney didn't want to give up, but he didn't defend the way you would normally defend on a submission. He was hanging out with his hand out, and he was exhausted probably, because that's what happens when you try to put somebody away and they don't go to sleep. You're like, damn it, Jim, I'm not a doctor. How can I get this dude out of here? And he couldn't get him out of there. And Chris Duncan, doing what Chris Duncan does, survived like a fucking savage, and then put it back on Terrence McKinney. And great job by Duncan getting the win and moving on to the next money fight. The next money fight. Macy Barber, straight up, I'm going to just call it like it is. And I'm not trying to be negative Nancy over here. I'm just simply saying, like, I'm glad that she continued to fight. it just seemed a little weird when she got up. She got straight up kicked in the face. With a little stutter step, sounded a little bit, you know.
And for the ref to say, it didn't connect that hard. Get out of here.
That was the worst. That was the fucking worst part. The Mark Smith, it didn't really connect. I was like, what the? Let me just tell. What did he say? He said, didn't land hard. How do you know if it landed hard? What do you mean it didn't land hard? Then he goes, oh, just a glazing blow. And then I'm glad that the commissioner off to the side goes, oh, no. It landed clean. And Mark just shrugged it off like, okay, are you ready to go? Dude, you got kicked in the chin. And I want to remind people, head kicks, they don't have to land fast and hard. They just have to land. The weight of the leg and the foot and the body behind it, what do you want to say? That shit hurts. And if you hit me clean on the chin, it's putting you to sleep. So, but she got up. She gave a little stutter step, like looked like she was doing a dance move. I was like, oh.
You couldn't hear, but she told the doctor that she was, and I quote, a little dizzy. That's what she said. She said, I'm good. I'm a little dizzy. And that's not good, especially what happened with her last fight. She was a little too dizzy. So that one didn't happen.
Hey, but she came back. She fought. She didn't carry it out too long. She was like, look, I can keep going. She did. I'm a big Macy Barber fan. I honestly believe for the female division, she's really exciting. I love watching her fight. She's not bad to look at.
Not at all. Not at all.
Exactly right, George. Like, I mean, you know, and I like her style of fighting. So just to put it very plainly, I'm glad she won. I think she is a great shot in the arm to that weight class. I'm excited to have her there. I hope she continues to make her run. So Ziam versus Sadykhov, man. Ziam looked absolutely fantastic. Control on the ground, big elbows. Like the whole thing was, I thought to me was a very dominant performance. And I actually thought Sadykhov was going to win this fight. I would never have put money on it because I have to know you very well before I start betting on these fights. But then on top of it, I feel like because I know fighters too well, it sometimes skews the way that I bet. And so I try to make sure that tonight, everything said that Merab was going to win. Everything said that Pantoja was going to win. What we got? We got two upsets. So, I thought Ziam looked absolutely fantastic. Good on him. Marvin Vettori, I don't know. Just got to pull the trigger more. Got to land more. I don't know what it is, but you're getting stuck in a rut of not throwing more than just ones and twos. You got to go threes and fours. You got to land the harder, cleaner shots. You can't just bounce around in front of someone. And I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying a tendency of fighters that are getting a little bit older or just they're falling into a pattern that fighters have figured out the blueprint to. Marvin Vettori has that pattern right now. He walks in front of you. He moves. You know, he kind of semi-kicks, semi-doesn't kick, and he tries to box mainly. That's the storyline behind older fighters. Not Edson Barboza, Jan Blachowicz, that way. Like, fighters have a tendency to do that, man. As they get older, they just become boxers. Rob Font, right now, you're going through it right now with Rob Font. You know, I can listen to a bunch of other fighters. You know, Kamaru Usman he's now had a tendency to be more of a striker or more of a boxer. He was never much of a kicker anyways. I mean, he wrestled a lot his last fight, but he has a tendency to be more of a boxer now with some wrestling involved. Whereas before, early in his career, it was all a lot of wrestling and control and domination. So in this fight, Marvin Vettori has found himself in a rut. It's like the same thing. I don't know if it's a change. He needs to change gyms. I don't know if he needs to. I think he just did change gyms, by the way. Like a fight or two ago.
I think he's had some personal stuff. I know he lost his brother in a house fire. So it might be more than just training, you know. But either way, God bless him. I hope he's doing the best in life, him and his family, you know.
Yeah, I would agree.
Another fighter I met, so I favorite every fighter I've met in person, you know. That's just a given.
Of course. Look, Marvin Vettori is, I think he still has something left in the tank. He's just got to make some adjustments. Got to start opening up using more tools and weapons. You can't just box. You got to throw more kicks. He was having success with the calf kick, but he didn't throw it enough. The leg was red on Bruno. Bruno was switching his stance, but just Bruno had more of the coming forward and landing the harder shots, and he was having success with it. I want to say welcome back to Jalen Turner. Glad to have you back. I thought you announcing your retirement was a mistake, and I'm glad when you came back that you fought somebody that let everyone know what your style brings to the UFC, and we missed that style. We loved the fact that you were back in there and getting after it. You and Edson Barboza was a fantastic fight. Edson, like he had, like he's just nasty. Very difficult to deal with. He's got power in his hands, big kicks, strong, everything. But he has a tendency to throw hard, so hard that it starts to slow down. And that's exactly what happened. Jalen hit him with some big shots. Jalen got after him, and it just was too much for him. It's almost like as if, and I said this on the live show, this dude needs to eat like a couple French fries or something. This dude's so lean. He needs a hamburger. He needs some fat in his body. He needs something. He needs to get with the Henry Cejudo diet or the Cain Velasquez diet because this dude's so lean. I think he's really just burning on muscle. I can't explain it. I've tried to tell people that fighting is a sport that I think you need to have more of a carb intake and more of, you can't look that fucking ripped and shredded. You got to have a little bit of excess on the sides. Not that much. George, not as much as you, buddy.
Okay? Respectfully, you are one of the most shredded fighters I've seen in weigh-in pictures, Josh Thomson.
Bro, are you been checking me out, huh?
I was showing my nieces. I Googled Josh Thomson MMA today to show my nieces some of your pictures because they were asking.
You didn't show them MMA today, like isn't today. I don't look like that today.
Yeah, no. I Googled weigh-in pictures. I just tried to.
There you go. They're like, damn, Daniel, who's that?
They're like, he has a 6-pack, and I was like,
yeah. Oh yeah, my man, I did at one point. That 6-pack is gone. I got a little 4-pack going on right now. My son makes fun of me because my son's got like an 8-pack with like the little obliques on the side too. I'm hella jealous. This kid's 11 years old, just shredded. It's to be expected though. Iwo and Ebo, I think to me, sorry, possibly fight of the night. I can't say anything else. Possibly fight of the night. Probably was outside of the main event. It came down to, if you take a look back at the Pat Barry Czech Congo fight, this fight and that fight are eerily similar. They seem almost identical. Ebo gets rocked, or Ebo and Ebo. Ebo gets rocked by Ebo, gets in big trouble. Ebo comes back and rocks Ebo. It's a slobber knocker back and forth. Both guys get dropped. Both guys get back up. Both guys get after it. It was one of those very intense fights. If you have not seen this fight, you need to jump on the ESPN app before they remove all the content and move it over to Paramount. Jump on the ESPN app and watch this fight. It's only going to take a minute of your time, minute 29 of your time. Enjoy it. Enjoy that fight for a minute 29. Great fight. Absolutely a great fight. Tune in and watch it. I didn't get to catch the first 2 fights. I was still at my son's lacrosse tournament, but I got back. I actually missed the Ebo and Ebo fight, but I went back and watched it because I'd heard so many good things about it. But obviously the first 2 fights with Mansour Abdul Malik and Tricoli ends up in a guillotine choke. I didn't see that fight. And Nemov versus Santos, that ends up being a TKO punches. All the fights were obviously very good and entertaining. I rate this card a 9.75. That's how much I rate this card. It's the highest I've ever given any card. Highest. And I'm glad that it happened on the last pay-per-view. I'm glad. Because I know I fucking got my money's worth on the last fucking time I had to pay. I'm so glad. I'd have been pissed if I didn't get my money's worth. I got my money's worth tonight. And I had great free fights on the prelims. I do want to say this. The interview with Rich Chow will drop this week. And you guys, there's a lot of history. What I want you guys to understand is see if there's going to be any similarities behind what CBS and Showtime used to do with Strikeforce and what CBS and Showtime did with Bellator. And if that carries over into the UFC, I don't get the feeling that CBS, because it's basically run by new ownership. I think that the CBS deal and the UFC will have carte blanche to do whatever they want. Whereas back in the day with Strikeforce and with Bellator, they didn't have carte blanche. CBS on TV was very adamant about only 3 or 4 fights on TV. So will we get away from a 5 or 6 fight main card? And when we did the CBS on when we were on the CBS shows, there was only a couple prelims. And those prelims were either on YouTube or they were aired somewhere else, and they weren't on, or they were on Paramount or whatever it was, or they were on CBS Sports, and the rest of the main card was on CBS. That being said, will it be the same? Will we have less fights on the main card? Something to keep an eye out on. And will we have less fights overall? Will there only be 9 to 10 fights with 3 or 4 fights on the main card? Normally when we had the CBS card, it would be 2. If it was 2 title fights, you had just one card. You had one fight below it with this swing bout. So if that first opening fight finished early, they would throw the swing bout in there, which sucks for the fighter that has fighting the swing bout, because they don't know when to warm up. They don't know how to be. They just always have to be ready for both the fighters. I don't think they're going to do it this way. I think they're going to give UFC carte blanche to do what they want, because the UFC has proven they run a pretty structured event with good pacing. It doesn't have a boxing pacing where there's a rapper that walks out and wastes 40 minutes of your time. They have good pacing. They're not going to ruin their model or change their model because they're on CBS. There will be some tweaks. There will be some tweaks though, because you have to deal with commercials now. There will be stops and breaks and all those things. The in between rounds may also be longer, like maybe just an extra 10 seconds because you're coming back from commercial break a lot. So just keep that in mind. Fighters will get a little bit more of a break probably, given that they're coming back from commercials and they run everything on a commercial platform. That's how they make their money. So I'm excited for the CBS. I'm excited for Paramount. It's a huge deal for the fighters, and I'm very, very jealous because these guys are going to get rich. They're going to get filthy rich. They're going to have opportunities to make a lot of money outside of the UFC, given the platform of being on CBS. Huge money. And I'm so happy for them because it's finally here. All the work that Hoist Gracie did, all the work that Frank Shamrock did, all the work that Mark Coleman and Don Fry and Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz and all these, Dan Henderson, Anderson Silva, all the work that those guys did has put us in this position to be on to me, I think is probably one of the biggest platforms in the world. Not just that, but also has a streaming platform that can be that goes into multiple countries. This is what we always wished for. We always wished that it would be on this platform, and I'm excited for the young fighters that are coming up. They have these opportunities to now make millions of dollars, even more money outside of the UFC for once. We never had that opportunity. And that's why I'm here still doing the podcast. But we never had that opportunity. This is huge, and I love it. I'm happy for them. But it's big. I just wanted to shed some light on that. That interview with Rich Chow will be dropping this week. Enjoy that show, but I'm going to wrap this thing up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the fights and the last pay-per-view that you're going to see until they roll out a $100 pay-per-view on CBS or Paramount in like a year. Watch. Mark my words. It'll be the biggest card you've ever seen every single time we see a card. But this one was special because it's $100. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Hit that like and subscribe button. Use the link down below in the descriptions for that drink element. They will send you a bonus package with every purchase. Also, go to wewantpicks.com/offer. It's $10 a month. Join. See what it's all about. It won't hurt you. You can cancel anytime. It's $10. $10. You spent more at the gas station diner checkout thing over there, right? Buying snacks. $10 potentially gives you information that can make you some money. So hit that up. Well, thank you guys. Like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell for notifications, and we're out.